Hello and welcome all of you students once again. So today we'll cover the our next point from the unit 5, that is the uh, what is people optimization and various techniques of the people optimization. Okay. Related to the unit 5, already the content which are there like basic block, data flow graph, control flow graph, that already we have discussed. And okay, so today this is the important topic, that's why I'm covering it. Okay, so in the as already what exactly is the code optimization, that things already we have discussed. But already I told you in the previous lectures also, uh, the code optimization generally get performed at the different times. Okay, and based on that, there are the two important types of the code optimization that also last time we have discussed. Okay, so today our point of discussion is the what is the people optimization and different techniques with the example. Okay, so what is the code optimization, that already we have discussed. It is nothing but the particular technique which is there in the back end of the compiler, or that is a part of the synthesis phase of the compiler. Okay, where we do the where we do the rearrangement of the code or modification in the intermediate code. Okay, and we try to improve the intermediate code by making some changes so that our code will become more faster and our code will consume the less resources like CPU, memory, etc. And these changes modification we can do without modifying, without violating or without interfering with the final result of the program. Okay, so that is the code optimization technique. So generally we perform the code optimization as a code modification to improve the quality and the efficiency of the code. Okay, a program may be optimized so that it becomes smaller in the size, consume less memory, execute more rapidly, and perform the input output operation. So that is the main aim behind performing the code optimization. Okay, so that our code can become the small size. If the size of the code becomes small, definitely the memory requirement for that will be the less. And also if you rearrange the code in a certain way by choosing the faster instruction, our speed of the program execution will also be the faster. Okay, so these are the different things that already we have discussed related with the code optimization. Okay, and before these lectures already we have seen how the code optimization can be performed, like a global code optimization, local optimization, loop optimization. So that all the code optimization things already we have discussed, that is before the generation of the code. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the code optimization phase, that is the after the code generation. Okay, then in the figure I will show you. So whether the code optimization get performed before the code generation or after the code generation, the certain objectives has to be satisfied, like optimization must be correct, it must not change the meaning of the program or final output of the program. Okay, and it should increase the speed and performance of the program also, because of the efficiency of the compiler also get increased. And the compilation time should not also get increased, it should be remain reasonable. Okay, so that all the objective has to be made may satisfy if you are performing the code optimization. Generally code optimization get performed by the compiler itself. So as I told you, the timing on which the code optimization get performed means whether it is get performed before the code generation, then that optimization is called as a machine independent optimization. So this code optimization phase try to improve the intermediate code to get better target code as output, and this is the optimization get performed before the code generation. Okay, so the part of the intermediate code which is transform or get modified here does not involve any CPU register, any instruction of machine, memory locations, memory references, etc. So we don't have to think anything about the machine here and the properties of the machine here. That is the reason this particular optimization is called as a machine independent optimization. Okay, And second category is the machine dependent optimization that today we are going to discuss regarding the machine dependent optimization, and it's one of the techniques is the peephole optimization. Okay, so machine dependent optimization is generally done after the target code has been generated. Okay, already in the previous lecture we have discussed the things related with the code generation. And as I said, the machine depend this is the machine dependent optimization done after the target code has been generated, when the code is transformed according to the target machine architecture. Okay, so this optimization, when this optimization is happening, we have to think about the machine's CPU registers, its memory references, instruction set, etc., etc. As this optimization get performed after the target code generation, that is the reason it is called as a machine dependent optimization. Okay, so you can observe these things in these diagrams also. So you can see this is the machine independent optimization. Already we have seen that local optimization, global optimization, loop optimization, and this is get performed on the intermediate code that this optimization phase receive from its previous phase and generate the optimized code. Then using this optimized code, how the code generation happen using the code generator, that in the previous lecture we have discussed. And this is our today's point of discussion, the code optimization after the code generation. Okay, if it is required. And that particular code optimization which is get performed after the code generation, that is called as a peephole optimization. Okay, so that is our point of discussion, the peephole optimization. Okay, so first we need to understand why this optimization is given such kind of name as a peephole optimization. Okay, so the aim and objective, the particular regarding this optimization is same as we have seen in case of the code optimization which get performed before the target code generation. Okay, only the difference here is what this optimization get performed after the target code generation. Okay, so here we need to think about the certain machine instruction, memory references, CPU register, etc. Okay. Now, why it is referred as a peephole? What is the meaning of peephole? So, peephole here I have written peephole in the sense small moving window on the target program. Okay. Now, peeping in the sense meaning of the peep is nothing but secretly, uh, examining something or secretly checking something. That is the meaning of peep. And hole here, hole in the sense we are going to examine or check small part of the code. We are not going to do the modification in the whole code, but we are going to do the modification for the optimization purpose in the small part of the code. That is the reason it is referred as a peephole. Okay, small moving window on the target program. So we are not going to modify or rearrange the entire target program, but small part of the target program we are going to modify or rearrange. That is the reason it is referred as a peephole. Okay, secretly observing the things or secretly checking the things, that is the general meaning, and from that this name is given to this kind of optimization. Okay, so peephole optimization replace the short sequence of target instruction by shorter or faster sequence. So that is the peephole optimization. Exactly what we are going to replace or modify the short sequence of target instruction by more shorter and more faster instruction, or we are going to replace short sequence of target instruction or slower sequence of target instruction by shorter sequence of target instruction and more faster sequence of target instruction. That is nothing but the peephole optimization, and generally this get performed on the target code, and sometimes it also can perform on the intermediate code also. So related with this, I hope you understood why we have the name given to this optimization as a peephole. We are going to focus on the small sequence of code, okay, at a time to perform the optimization. That is the reason it is referred as a peephole. Okay, so compiler, so the particular what you can say, the optimizer is going to be perform this kind of optimization, or the compiler is going to perform this kind of optimization on small part of the program. Understood? By checking that small part, the compiler will see whether optimization can be performed or not. If it is yes, then compiler will perform the optimization on that small part of the program. Means it will try to rearrange, replace, or modify that small part of the program. It is possible. So that is the reason it is referred as a peephole optimization. Okay. So there are the various techniques are there, like redundant instruction elimination, unreachable code elimination, flow of control optimization, algebraic simplification, use of machine idioms, So these are the different techniques. We are going to discuss these different techniques related with the p-fold optimization. Already I have explained you why the name is given p-fold optimization. Its standard definition is given here. So the p-fold optimization is a simple and effective technique for locally improving the target code. Target code, as I said, this is optimization get performed after the target code generation. Okay, so locally improving the target code. This technique is applied to improve the performance of target program. So this optimization generally, as I said, optimization generally performed to improve the particular previous code. So here we have done the optimization to improve the intermediate code, and then we have got the optimized code. So here we are performing the optimization to improve the target code. So here this technique is applied to improve the performance of target program by examining or checking the short sequence of target instruction. So that shorts from that short sequence of target instruction, the name is given as a p-fold, and replace this instruction by shorter or faster sequence whenever possible. Understood? So that is nothing but the p-fold optimization. So p-fold optimization is a type of code optimization performed on the small part of the code. That is the reason this name is given as a p-fold, and it is performed on the very small set of instruction in the segment of code. Okay. So the small set of instruction or small part of the code on which p-fold optimization perform is known as a p-fold or the window. Understood? So that small part of the code is called as a p-fold, or it is also called as a window. Okay. So let's see what are the objective of performing this optimization. As I said, optimization can be for this p-fold optimization can be performed on the intermediate code or on the target code, but mostly it is get performed on the target code. So these are the certain objectives, like why we are doing this: to improve the performance of the target program, to reduce the memory requirement, and to reduce the size of the code. Understood? So these are the some of the main objective of these. So already I discussed with you optimization technique that operate on the target code considering the few instruction at a time. So it is a machine dependent. Okay, because here we are going to consider about the CPU register of the machine, instruction set, memory reference, etc., etc. Okay. So peeping into the single or sequence of 2 or 3 instruction and replacing it by most efficient instruction, that is nothing but the p-fold optimization. Peeping in the sense checking or examining the single or sequence of 2 or 3 shorter instruction and short instruction or slower instruction and replacing it with the more faster instructions or more shorter instruction. Okay. So these are the different techniques that already we have discussed. So we have to discuss in details about these techniques. Okay. Okay. So our first technique in the p-fold optimization is redundant instruction elimination. So I hope you must be understanding what do you mean by the redundant. Redundant in the sense unwanted or some repeated instruction. So when the target code generated, in the target code there might be some unwanted or repeated code might have been generated. So elimination of that, that is nothing but the redundant instruction elimination as a part of the p-fold optimization. So especially the redundant load and stores instruction can be eliminated in this type of transformation. Okay. So what do you mean by the redundant load and the stores? If you see this example, let's see. Now what is happening in the first instruction? Move R0X means you are trying to move the X into the register R0. Okay. And what you are trying to do in the second instruction, move X to the R0. But if you see the first instruction, X is already in the R0. Result of this first instruction will be what? X will be going to the R0. Then why again you are moving X into the R0? So this second instruction is called as a redundant instruction. What? This second instruction is called as a redundant instruction, which you can call as redundant load and the store. Okay. So that is the reason you can eliminate this second instruction. As I mentioned, we can eliminate the second instruction since X is already in the R0. Okay, so in this shorter sequence of code, there is a redundant load and store things are there. There is a redundant load and store instruction is there. And what is that instruction? This second instruction. Because using first instruction, you are moving the X into the R0, and result of second will be also you are moving X into the R0. Then why there is a need of second instruction? This is okay. Understood. So you can eliminate the second, that is the redundant instruction elimination as a part of the p-fold optimization. So this redundant instruction elimination also we have seen in the previous code optimization technique, but that we have done before the target code generation. There was no relation with the what you can say the machine instruction and etc. here you have to consider about the machine instruction. Understood? That is the reason this optimization is get performed after the code optimization, and that is called as a p-fold optimization. Okay. So I hope you have got the first technique, that is the redundant instruction elimination. Okay. Now second technique we have, that is the algebraic simplification. Okay. So people optimization is an effective technique for the algebraic simplification. Okay. So what we can do in the algebraic simplification. So in the algebraic simplification, we can use the algebraic of properties or the operand operator combination. Okay. So with the help of some algebraic properties or operand operator combination, we can do this algebraic simplification. Okay. Let's see. Now, certain times you may write the instruction like this x plus 0, but there is no need to write these two operands here, x and 0. You can simply write x, because x plus 0 is x only. 0 plus x is also the only the x. X into 1, meaning of that is only the x. 1 into x, that is also the x. 0 divided x, its meaning is simply 0. X minus 0 is simply meaning is x. So what happen if the certain kind of target instruction get generated with this kind of operand operator specification or combination, then compiler can replace this with this kind of combination. Understood? And that is simply considered as a algebraic simplification as a part of the p-fold optimization. Because if you see the writing x plus 0 is consuming the space as well as the processing. Okay. So why should not we write it like this only? Understood? So this kind of things you can see, this is a short instruction or a short combination of code. This can be replaced by this kind of things only. Understood? So that is called as a algebraic simplification as a part of the p-fold optimization. Okay. Then next technique we have in the p-fold optimization is the reduction in the strength. As already we have discussed these techniques in the previous code optimization technique also. Reduction in the strength is nothing but certain machine instruction are cheaper than other instruction, or the operator which is using the certain instruction can be replaced by some more cheaper operators. Like in the already we know plus is a cheaper operator as compared with the star, or minus is a cheaper operator as compared with the division. Okay, like these kind of things we can do in the reduction in the strength. So in order to improve the performance of the intermediate code, we can replace this instruction by equivalent cheaper instruction, or we can replace the costly operator with the cheaply operators. Understood? As I said, people optimization can be performed before the target code generation also. So this is the technique which get performed before the target code generation as a part of the p-fold optimization. So where we can replace the particular operator by the less expensive operator, we can replace the costly operator by the less expensive or less costly operator. Like if you see this instruction I into 2, okay, or 2 into I. So we can replace this particular instruction with the I plus I, because here multiplication operator is which is more costly or more expensive as compared with the plus. What do you mean by the more costly or the more expensive? Its meaning is what? The processing time required to process it will be the more. Also, you can see second I divided by 2. You can simply replace it by the I into 0.5. 0 minus I, you can simply write it like minus I. F into 2 or 2.0 into F can be written like this. Okay. So if compiler find this kind of instruction, then compiler replace it with the less expensive instruction as I showed. Okay. And that is nothing but the reduction in the strength technique, where we try to replace the costly operator with the less costly operator, or we try to replace the expensive operator by the cheaper operators. Okay, so that is nothing but the reduction in strength technique. Now this is the next technique, flow of control optimization. This technique is generally performed after the target code generation as a part of the p-fold optimization. Okay, where what we do, the unnecessary jumping instruction can be get eliminated either in the intermediate code or target code by following type of p-fold optimization. So generally this technique get performed before the target code generation. If it get performed before the target code generation, then it get performed on the intermediate code. Okay. But if it is get performed after the target code generation, then it get performed on the target code itself. Okay. So what we do in this technique, we try to replace the unwanted jumping instructions. Now, what do you mean by this? Let's see the example. Okay. Suppose you have this shorter sequence of code. Now, what is written in this? Go to L1. Okay, go to L1. And where is the L1 here? And in the L1, what you have written? Go to L2. Now, how we can rearrange this code or modify this code to improve the space efficiency and the time efficiency? So we can simply replace this sequence of code by this sequence. Like you can directly write the single instruction, go to L2, because here what is the sense, like go to L1 first and then go to L2? Then why should not we write here directly go to L2? So such kind of things can be happen, and then if such kind of things or sequence of code is there, then compiler replace such kind of sequence of code by this shorter sequence. Understood? So that is called as a flow of control optimization. Okay, where we are replacing the unwanted jumps. Okay. So here unwanted jump is what? Going to the L1 and then going to the L2. Then why should not you go to the L2 directly? So here we have eliminated the unwanted jump. Likewise, we can have the another example, like here go to L1, then L1 go to L2, and L2 equal to L2 as a L2 is a label as a equal to B. So instead of this, you can directly write for this two instruction go to L2. Okay. So instead of going to the L1, you can write directly write go to L2, and L2 is what? L2 is a equal to B. Understood? So these kind of things you can do. Then another code we have, if A is less than B, then go to L1. What? If A is less than B, go to L1. Now L1 is what? Again L1 is what? Go to L2. So instead of that, you can directly write if A is less than B, go to L2 directly. Understood? Why to go to the L1 first and then L1 is telling us to go to L2? So directly you can write if A is less than B, go to L2 directly. Understood? So this two sequence of instruction we can replace by simply the one sequence of instruction. Now below this next part of the code is shown, okay, with label. Understood? So this is nothing but the elimination of unwanted jumps as a part of the flow of control optimization, which is the technique of p-fold optimization. Okay. Then let's see the next. Now here next we have the machine idioms. Okay, this is one of the most important technique as a part of the p-fold optimization, which is get performed after the target code generation. Okay, so the target instruction have the equivalent instruction for the performing some operation. Means what? Now in order to perform one operation, there might be the more than one target instruction available. Okay, in order to perform the one operation, there may be more than one target instruction may be available. Understood? So one target instruction may be slower and another target instruction may be faster. So it will be always better to choose the faster target instruction to execute your program more fastly. Okay. So hence we can replace this target instruction by equivalent machine instruction in order to improve the efficiency. So we can replace the slower target instruction or target instruction which is consuming the more space by the faster target instruction or the target instruction which is requiring the less space. So some of the techniques in related with this is the machine idiom techniques. Okay, so some machines have the auto increment and the auto decrement addressing modes. Okay, a lot of the machine or their machine instruction have this kind of instruction which you can call as a auto increment instruction or the auto decrement instruction. Let's take the example. Suppose this is the example x is equal to x plus 1, or another instruction x is equal to x minus 1. Okay, now instead of writing this instruction, now in order to write this instruction which x is equal to x plus 1. Now for this particular code, okay, for this particular code, we are going to need the three machine instruction. Why we are going to require the three machine instruction? Okay, one instruction will require to load this x into the register. Second, then we need the instruction to add this content, okay, of register and this one. Then third instruction will require to assign this result to this x again. Understood? So three instruction we have to require for this. So instead of this, we can write only the one instruction. like INCX. Understood? Same for these also. For these also we are going to require three instructions. One to move the X into the register, then doing the subtraction of content of register and this minus one, and then assigning third instruction will be required to move this result into the X again. Understood? So instead of these three instruction, we can write only the simple one instruction, decrement X. Understood? So that is nothing but the machine idiom technique of p-fold optimization. Here we try to choose uh, uh, particular machine instruction which is requiring the less space and the less memory, or which is more faster than the other machine instruction. Understood? So that is nothing but the machine idiom p-fold optimization. Okay, because here for this code, how many target instruction will require? Three, as I told you. One for moving the X into register, then doing the addition of content of register, and one, and third will be the moving this result into the X. Okay, like let me show you. First you need to move. Okay, move. Uh, Suppose we take the R1 comma X, then add what? Add X and 1, then lastly move add X and 1, and result will be the X. So last will be the move, last will be what? Moving this whole result. Sorry, here we have made a mistake. So first instruction will be move R1 comma X, then second will be add R1 and 1. Okay, and then lastly move R1 X, means whatever the result in this R1, that will be moved to the, okay, sorry, this move that is not like this will be the move X comma R1, moving the content of R1 into the X. Okay, not like this. So instead of writing these three instruction, only one instruction is doing our work, that is INCX. Understood? So that is nothing but the machine idiom technique, where we try to replace the, where we try to choose uh, target instruction, less number of target instruction. If we are requiring the more number of targets instruction to for particular sequence of code. Okay, like here we are covering the three instruction. Instead of that, you can only select the only one instruction. So here we can replace this one particular target instruction. Like here we are replacing the uh, three target instruction by equivalent only one target instruction. Understood? To improve the efficiency. So that is, this is called as a auto increment, and this second is called as a auto decrement. Understood? So that is the machine idiom technique, where we try to replace the more number of target instruction by less number of target instruction. Okay, now last technique, we have the unreachable code elimination. Okay, let's see what is the unreachable code elimination. If you see, this is a simple code. X equal to 0, then if X equal to 1, a equal, then in the bracket, in a loop, the a equal to b. Okay, a is to the a, b is assigned. Okay, now this particular whole code is unreachable. Why? Here you are assign 0 value to the X, and here you are checking the if condition, whether if X is equal to 1. Now X is never going to be equal to 1. Okay, here X is never going to be equal to 1, because here you are assigning X as a 0. So your this code will never going to be execute. Understood? This code will never going to execute. That is the reason this code is called as a unreachable. That is the reason it is called as what? Unreachable. So eliminating such code is called as an unreachable code elimination. Okay, so we can write the intermediate code for this like this. X, if X equal to 0, if X equal to 1, go to L1, otherwise go to L2. Okay, now intermediate code for this code will be like this. Okay, here X equal to 0, if X equal to 1, then go to where? L1. L1, in the L1 we have written A equal to B. If X equal to not if X equal to 1 is false, then go to L2, where L2 is where. So for this kind of intermediate code, okay, this intermediate code also we can optimize, like how here you can mention x equal to 0. Now instead of writing x equal to 1, here we'll write x not equal to 1, because if you write x not equal to 1, you can directly go to the L2. Understood? Because if x not equal to 1, where you will go, you will directly go to the L2 here. Understood? Because this is what, this is unreachable code. There is a no need to go to this part. As you can see, this is being considered here. What a equal to b is what, unreachable. So no need to go to this part. So directly you need to go to the L2. But in this is the unoptimized intermediate code. This is what, unoptimized intermediate code. Why you are calling it unoptimized? Because if you see, this is this is unreachable. Understood? This condition is never going to be true. This condition is never going to be true. Understood? So directly you can write it like this. If understood, this condition is never going to be true, but here you have considered it as a true. If x equal to 1, go to L1. What? If x equal to 1, then go to where? L1. This part. Understood? But because you have declared here x is 0, this is never going to be true. Understood? So why should not you write like this? X, if x not equal to 1, directly go to the L2. Directly go to the L2. So one. So here you can see this unreachable code will get eliminated. Understood? So so that is all about the, okay, so that is all about the p4 optimization and different techniques of the p4 optimization. I hope all of you are understood, and you just go through the all this technique once again. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, thank you all of you.